All right, everybody, what is going on? Good late afternoon, and we got to get back to business as usual. I know things are happening right now. I know things are very interesting in the world of the NFL, but I got to get through some draft evaluations. And in this video, we're going to be going over more wide receivers like yesterday. Now we're on to the guys who are going to be probably mid to late first round picks. So that's kind of how we're proceeding through. Yesterday was early firsts. Now we're doing mid to late. And we're going to start with Makai Lemon of USC. 22 years old. He's on the smaller side for sure, with short arms, 30.5 inches, pretty short. Very small hands as well, for whatever that's worth. But every big board has him in the first. Several have him in the earlier mid first. Walter Football has him in the second, so they're a little bit of an outlier here. And the aggregate has him 13th, so right around the middle point. Very productive in 2025. He was one of the more productive receivers in college for major programs. Over 1,150 yards, 11 touchdowns. Year before that, also fairly productive. Not elite, but putting up numbers. 90.8 PFF rating for 2025. And what makes Makai Lemon stand out as a prospect is him at the catch point, I think. When the ball is in the air and he's competing for it with a defender, he's very good at making the last second adjustment and getting his hands on the ball first and winning the contested catch situation. He's very skilled in running routes as well. He runs great routes. He's got great hands. So when it comes to the fundamentals of playing football, you've got a lot to like with Makai Lemon. Spatial awareness is top notch. He's already doing the Tyler Lockett toe drag stuff, and that's as a young player. He reads zone and finds the holes well. He's somebody who understands how to read a defense, knows how to get open, even when even when not necessarily manned up on and being defended by technically multiple players. He has a little bit of a burst, so we can use that to break open when he's in the middle of his route. And he's a pretty decent run blocker. He's very willing in run blocking, which is kind of rare but for a smaller guy, but he's a good run blocker. And unlike some of the other receivers we're talking about as being first round guys, he had the production of a first rounder in 2025. Now, the red flag here is pretty obvious. He's too small, short arms, probably only going to be a slot receiver in the NFL. And I know that the perception of that is being challenged right now by players like JSN, but realistically, you look at this guy's physical profile, you see a slot receiver. He's not anywhere near as big as JSN. And while he is quick, he does have pretty good quickness. He can get up to his top speed fast. He doesn't actually have very good top speed. So I don't know about him getting open deep down the field on go routes. For the most part, he is a possession receiver. I think he'll be a guy who gets mostly short passes and then goes down quickly. I don't think he's a big yak threat. I don't think he's somebody that's going to be a big downfield threat. And because he is so small, you need to hit him with an accurate ball. His catch radius is pretty low. He does have good ball skills, but he doesn't have a big radius of catch. So, really compelling talent. I love the ball skills. I love the aggressiveness, but he's just a little too small here. And because of that, I have to diminish him a little bit, although I do still like him a lot. He's going to catch a lot of balls in the NFL. I don't think he'll ever be an elite receiver, but he's going to be a great receiver in the NFL as long as he's allowed to occupy his lane in the slot. So early to mid first rounder sounds about right to me. In this class, I would definitely probably take him around the 12th or 13th or 14th overall pick, maybe even 11th, or I'd be okay at 10th, somewhere around there. That seems about right to me. The in a better draft class, maybe I'd feel otherwise, but he is going to be very good. Next guy is Denzel Boston, and we're pretty familiar with this guy, another Washington Husky, going to be 22 when the season starts. He's a big guy. That is the main thing that stands out here. 6'4", 212 pounds, one of the bigger receivers in this draft, and especially by current standards, will be one of the biggest receivers in the NFL when he is drafted. So 212 pounds, 32-inch arms, which is average compared historically, but I think in the current NFL, it's a little better than average. Big hands. Didn't do a lot at the combine. His vert and his broad were both pretty lackluster. Or no, I'm sorry, he did the vert and then he did the 20-yard shuttle. But remember, he's a bigger guy So a lower vert and a lower or worse 20-yard shuttle is not surprising. So I wouldn't be too alarmed by that. Every big board that I use has him in the first, except CBS. They have him in the early second, and the aggregate has him 21st. So therefore, he is probably going to be a first-round pick. He's been productive the last 2 years, although not over the top productive, right? It's a little bit more like Carnell Tate. The numbers are there, but they're not massive. He does have a lot of production in the red zone. He catches a lot of touchdowns, but did not have a season of over 900 yards. So there was a little bit missing. He was great last year. Like 88 PFF grade speaks for itself, but he didn't have the monster season that some people may have been looking for. So not only is he big, he knows how to win with his size. He has big time size, understands how to win with it, knows how to use that in jump ball situations, knows how to use it in contested catch situations. So he's not just a big guy who doesn't understand it. He's a good ball tracker. He tracks it into his hands well. He makes good last second adjustments to bring the ball in. He's got great hands, very few drops, knows how to use his physicality in the route, knows how to lean on a defender while in the route to build space. He's deadly in the red zone. The fact that he's got 20 touchdowns, over 125 catches is pretty extraordinary. And remember, Demond Williams is good, but he also spent half of his last 2 seasons, his really productive seasons. There was also the Will Rogers year where things were a little bit more complicated. So he didn't always have the greatest quarterbacks. And he's a good route runner, understands good routes, and he's good at using power to get yak. He breaks tackles of defensive backs and gets extra yards. So plenty to like. The big concern I have is press coverage tends to eat him up a little bit, which is going to be a big problem for a guy this size. If you're going to be a bigger receiver that depends on physicality, you got to be able to beat press. He's an outside receiver, so you're going to be dealing with it a decent amount. And he doesn't have top end speed. He's an easier guy to cover. He's an easier guy to stick with because he just doesn't have the top end speed. He is going to have to fine tune his route running a little bit to maximize the little bit of space he can build between him and the defender. He's not going to be a downfield threat in the NFL at all. I don't think he's going to be somebody that's catching deep balls down the field. And he's lacking top end athletic traits. Just overall, he's not a stellar athlete. He's big. He runs good routes. He has great hands, but you wouldn't call him a great athlete. This isn't a DK Metcalf situation where he's got everything. Denzel Boston has part of it, but he's missing the stuff that would make him a truly upper level prospect. So I think we know what we're getting with Denzel Boston for the most part. I think he's going to be one of those bigger guys that struggles to separate, and he'll be productive. The main thing that I'm worried about is press coverage. If press coverage eats him up, then that's going to be a problem because he's got to play on the outside in the NFL as one of those big mismatches. So the draft class is what it is. Early second is fine for me. I don't think he's a first rounder. I struggle with that. I don't think a receiver that struggles to separate like this should typically be a first rounder unless they were insanely productive in college, and Boston wasn't. So to me, he's probably an early second rounder, and in a better class, I'd move him to the mid second. I'm not enamored here. Okay, one more guy for this video, one more receiver. It's going to be Kevin Concepcion of the Texas A&M Aggies. Another guy that is projected to be, probably anyway, a first-round pick. Only 21 when the season starts. He's small. He's not super small, but he's smaller than typical, although modern NFL standards, you'd say about average, 196 pounds. Short arms, very short arms, 30 and a quarter. Every big board has him in the first except for ESPN. They actually have him in the middle second. Aggregate has him in the late first, but still the first. And you can see decent production the last 2 years, but he didn't have that big monster season. 61 catches for 919 yards last year. Good. Really odd, though. The previous year, 2024, he had 53 catches and 460 yards. That's hard to do. So that's a little bit funky. But 2025 showed his value as a player. He's really good at getting through his routes quickly. He runs his routes with speed and determination. He's very dangerous after the catch. I think that's probably the main thing with Conception. He's very good running after the catch. He could be like a really good, probably a good punt returner because of that as well. So I think he'll be a very, very dangerous, elusive yak receiver. He's good at uncovering against zone. You deploy zone on him, he'll find the opening and get open. He's good at presenting himself to the quarterback. He's got good hands. He reliably catches balls that are thrown his way. And he's willing to fight. He's willing to play physically despite not being particularly big. Now, I do think his routes, while they are very rapid, he runs his routes fast. He needs to add nuance and finesse. Right now, he tends to just get through his routes as fast as he can. That's not always what you want to do. So he's got to learn how to throttle a little bit. I don't think he has great downfield speed. Straight line speed is not really there, which is tough because he is a smaller guy. He may end up just being only able to play in the slot because he is smaller and has short arms. He's on the smaller side overall, and just physically, he's a little bit weak in my mind. So physically, while he tries, I don't know if I'd trust him to survive a lot of contact over the middle. So he's a little bit limited to my tastes. I feel like he's more of a gadget player. I feel like he's probably never going to be a high volume target, but I like the yak ability. That helps save it a little bit for me. So there's a lot of slot guys in this draft, and Conception doesn't get lost in that to me because of the yak. So I go early second. I can't quite go first round, although I may end up coming around on that because of the nature of this draft class. We'll have to see where I am at the end of this process, but I couldn't quite go first rounder. There's too many issues here. And I don't like these guys who are smaller but don't have burner speed. And I don't think Conception has burner speed. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think, and see you guys soon.